Hey guys, Tom from the Airsoft Headquarters here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is fairly new to the market, less than 2 years old, and is coming from an older company, but is implementing some newer techniques, some newer innovation that really has not been seen before. And of course, by the thumbnail, you already know that I'm talking about the G&G GTP9 gas blowback pistol. For some quick back history on G&G, they actually started as a Tokyo Marui distributor in 1984. And they've been doing distribution for Tokyo Marui until about 2001 when they started making their own branded aftermarket parts in order to keep up with maintenance, warranty, and stuff like that. By 2004, they were producing their very first lineup as far as their own rifle systems. So from 2004 all the way up into the current time period, 2020, they have been manufacturing their own branded, their own style of rifles, whether that be M4s, AKs, M14s, gas-operated rifles, bolt actions, even some of their pistols, which are going to be like an M9, 1911, 2011 type of style. However, with their newest products, with their newest pistol, it's really something that hasn't been seen before. In fact, it's not really like anything that is based off of a real firearm. So let's kind of dive into it and let's break it apart together. So right away, one of the very first things that sets this apart from other types of products that are currently on the market are going to be, this is a all polymer external system. So the slide is completely polymer, the frame is completely polymer, the barrel is going to be a lightweight aluminum, same as the spring guide down here, a lightweight aluminum. Magazine, of course, is going to be metal as well. But overall, this is extremely lightweight. And of course, there are going to be other companies that are manufacturing polymer slide, polymer lower assemblies, but it's really not all that common. In fact, those companies oftentimes offer aftermarket metal slides or metal frames in order to, keep up with specific demands about a metal pistol setup. However, I don't think that's really necessary for the GTP9. If we kind of take a little bit farther of a step back and kind of get an overall look at it, it's really a culmination, in my opinion, of multiple different setups. So in holding it and playing with it here at my desk, this seems like a Glock replica of a lower frame. But it also has the HK style of controls here that are going to be ambidextrous. The slide here, very thin. If you compare the height and the thickness of the dimension, it's almost of a 2011 or a 1911 style of slide. But the back is completely flat, similar to a Glock. They have a couple of serrations here that are going to be cut out from the slide, which actually makes it very, very fast as far as a cycle rate. Of course, you do have a couple of cutouts along the front here. You have texturing along the top here in order to do a front manipulation of the slide, or even to do a rear manipulation of that slide, whether that be like this, back here, something. They give you the options in order to control that slide, which for a polymer slide within Airsoft, it really doesn't matter because of how little spring tension there is. The texturing on the back here also reminds me of some older Glock ones. I mean, of course, the texturing up here on the front and the back are going to be a Gen 4 style. However, on the left and to the right side, it reminds me of a Gen 3 or even a Gen 2 type of texturing. And even holding it in my hand, it's very Glock-esque as far as how it feels. 1911 style of slide, and you have your HK controls, which we'll go in depth in just a minute. For this, because it's really by itself, there's really nothing as far as serials or logos that it needs to deal with. Of course, like I said, for a serial number, it has this on the side right here, which is going to help for assembly purposes You know, the company G&G can look at when this was assembled, on which assembly line, track it as far as who assembled it to help with quality control or with any sort of warranty work, stuff like that. This serial number also matches the serial number that is stamped inside of this box here. And on the bottom here you have GTP9, GTP9, and then G&G on this side here, but nothing else on this side. So very, very minimalist. So the sights back here are going to be something that is really odd. Nothing that I've really seen as far as airsoft or real firearms uses this, and there's really no way to describe it with the sharp angles and the weird painted dots type of setup. It's unique, it works, just something that probably will need to get used to. I know I need to get used to it at first. The controls, of course, here are going to be ambidextrous, with the slide release working on the left or right side. The magazine release here. There is a working external trigger safety here. So that trigger is engaged, not working. However, finger all the way in, and that is going to work. Something that is noteworthy as well is that the safety switch here, it's right hand based, but you can do it with your left hand as well. So trigger engaged, if I have it with my left hand, with my trigger finger, I can engage that safety so that it does not fire. And then on the other side, reach up with my thumb in order to disengage that safety, hit it again. So if I need to go back to safe, hit that safety, and on the other side, boom. Likewise, with my right hand, I can hit that safety with my thumb, and I can still disengage it with the meaty part of my finger as I'm going to pull that trigger. So I don't know if that is something that they intentionally designed, but you can still use it for that. For disassembly, it's kind of stupid easy. I mean, you still have your pins on the left and right hand here, so thumb, forefinger, pull down, and you saw it jump forward, so it's just a matter of course it's not going to do it here, sliding it off. And from there, you have your frame and you have your slide assembly. Put that frame off to the side, taking this apart, lifting that up for your recoil spring, and your barrel, at least for the US market one, has this really large orange tip on here. It's glued into place on this one specifically, so you can't remove it. And what is taken up underneath that orange tip, I don't think that there is enough space in order to have any sort of threads for a threaded barrel system. Of course, I could be wrong because I can't take the orange tip off and see for certain, but you can still lift this up, rotate back, and out slides your hop up and inner barrel assembly. Put that back, put your recoil spring back into place, like so. Your frame, slide on place like that. Give it a rack a couple times to make sure, pull the trigger, and everything works. And of course, let's look at the box. This is going to be a hard plastic type of shell. You've got the G&G logo right on the front here. That's just going to be a sticker, not really stamped. It's got the clasps that you can open up. And it's a molded type of plastic carry case. So you have a little slot here for a manual, which does go in depth pretty well. You have a spare back strap, which I will go over in a minute. An extra speed loader, space for the pistol, space for your magazine. And this is going to be GTP9 with that individual serial number here. And that's really all there is to the case. A pretty solid case. I know some of the other ones that are on the market, other pistols that come with cases, are fairly flimsy. Not this one. This one seems pretty durable, which I like. Now let's quickly talk about that backstrap like I talked about just briefly before. So magazine out, And this is your back strap. I currently have the larger of the two on here just because that's what fits the best. But if you apply a little bit of force, that back strap can pull off, and then you can grab the smaller one and simply slide it into place there. Now on the very back here, on the back strap, and this works for the smaller one as well, there's this little tab that says push. So if you push it in just a little bit, it pops out, and here is a little tool. Now what is this tool for, you might ask? Inside of your outer barrel is going to be where you would adjust your hop-up unit. So there is going to be a flathead type of space that you need to take this and slide it into in order to adjust your hop-up. So you're going to shoot a couple of times, pull your tool out, make adjustments, pull it out, take a couple more shots, put your tool back in, make another adjustment, back out, shoot a couple more times until you get the desired hop-up. Now, I don't know for certain if that type of hop-up unit is going to hold up very well. I personally have not been able to use this very much at all, so I don't know if it holds up for long periods of gameplay. But I know that this hop-up unit is going to be 100% proprietary. In fact, I pulled that hop-up assembly out, took a good look at it, and I couldn't figure out a way in order to disassemble it if I wanted to put a tight bore inner barrel inside of that hop-up, inside of this inner barrel. So you're kind of stuck with what it is currently. That may be offered for a tight bore inner barrel later on down the road, but we don't know yet. Now the velocity of the GTP9 is going to be sitting about 310 feet per second with a gas magazine. Currently there is nothing available for CO2. As we should know, CO2 is going to have a much higher pressure output and probably is not safe in order to work on the GTP9. For 310 feet per second though, this actually uses a trying to be patented, what do they call it? The internal nozzle is going to rotate as the gas is coming out of that nozzle, which is very, very unique. And actually, it's weird because we were shooting this at 15 feet when we first got these just to try them out. And we were able to get quarter-sized groupings at 10 shots, and that's at 15 feet. Now, we weren't standing at 15 feet and holding the pistol out. We were standing back about 18 feet and then holding the pistol out, so the pistol itself was 15 feet away from the paper target. And so that is actually really, really cool at 15 feet in order to get that tight of grouping. Really, really unique, not something you really see as far as airsoft pistols. The magazine for the GTP9 is going to be gas operated, like I said before, and is going to be holding 22 rounds, which is, you know, kind of, it's decent for a double stack, but it's a narrow double stack, so you aren't able to fit quite that many. And the very front face, this BB channel here, is not wide enough in order to feed BBs into if you need to reload. So you actually do need to pull the follower down, which is a retaining follower. Grab your speed loader, load it through the feed lips here, which is a little bit annoying, and then pushing the tab down at the bottom here in order to push your follower back into place. So very cool that they included that follower lock system, so you don't have to fiddle with the follower while you're trying to do reloads. Very, very nice that they included that. Aftermarket options are going to be a full auto hammer assembly, which actually looks like it can be really easy in order to replace. I think it's only this pin that holds that trigger assembly in place. So if you pop that out, you should be able to pull the semi-auto trigger assembly out, drop the full auto trigger assembly in, pop that pin back in, and you should be good to go. You also have the SMC9 upper, which is going to be a replacement of the slide, essentially. So you're going to take the slide off, put the frame into that upper chassis, so to say, and then you have now a SMG type of platform in order that uses pistol style of magazines that can use the standard magazines. Aftermarket, there are also 50 round extended magazines, and on G&G's website they said that there is a drum magazine but I don't know if that is a real product that actually only uses a standard magazine as a base and then has a fake drum, or if it's just photoshopped and then it's going to be a different product aftermarket. Because if we look at it, it looks like it's just a standard magazine because of that follower that's sitting right there. So I'm not certain how you're supposed to use a drum magazine that has a follower there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if this is just a Photoshop image that they're going to, they're in the works of making, but they don't have an official drum mag out yet. So that's kind of, take that for what it is, So my final thoughts on the GTP9 is that this is a really solid pistol. Granted that it is going to be an all polymer slide and polymer frame, it holds up very well in my opinion. It's extremely lightweight, so it cycles fast. Everything is really basic internally and externally, so if anything breaks, it should be super easy for G&G to just push out these aftermarket parts or even these replacement parts for the pistol. I really wouldn't be surprised if later on down the road they would have a tight bore inner barrel, a blade trigger type of system, different types of grips, maybe different slide options as well. This also currently comes in several different colors. There is the rose gold, which is a pink and white type of setup. You also have an all gray, a gray and black, an all tan and all black, and then this one, which is a tan and black two-tone type of setup. So if anyone is looking for a CQB pistol platform for like Speed QB or something like that, this is probably one that I would consider picking up or would suggest picking up for $150, and it has an SMG type of platform that you can slide this into, or at least the frame into, in order to get a shoulderable setup. You also have a lot of consistency with that patented World cylinder. You have standard magazines that hold 22 rounds, which is an acceptable amount. You have aftermarket extended magazines, and you have, coming out soon, I would hope, a drum magazine. So we'll see exactly where this actually ends up, and I'm really, really excited to see how this ends up, further on down the road from G&G. They've been playing the airsoft game, they've been on the airsoft market for quite a few years, nearly 20 at this point, with manufacturing their own stuff, and they've been working as a Tokyo Marui distributor and warranty work system for years before that as well. So they've been in the airsoft game, they know how it goes. I am extremely confident that they're going to continue to thrive and be a huge part of the market in the coming years, and I am just super excited to see what else they're going to be coming out with, because there's more G&G products that I want to get into the store, review, and have available for you guys. So that's really it for the SMC9. Guys, thank you for staying to the end of the video. If you do have any further questions, put them down in the comments section below, like and subscribe. If you have any further questions, you can hit us up on Facebook Messenger. You can go, you can email the store, stuff like that. There's easy ways in order to contact us. And that's really it for this video. So you guys take care, stay safe, stay clean, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.